Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your tarot reading. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. Either way, thank you so very much for being here, and thank you for sharing your energy with me. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to pull a traditional Celtic cross spread. Whatever message comes out is what the collective needs to hear right now. I've set that intention with my guides and with this deck. So if you are here because this pops up on your feed, this message is for you. And if you are here because of the title, this message is definitely for you. So let's get into the tarot and see what Spirit has. I also have an oracle deck that I will pull from at the end to get some additional messages and wrap everything up. Wow, we've got the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. Definitely feeling some loss, some grief here. Be sure and like the video. Leave a comment if you feel called to do so, but definitely subscribe if you like the messages. It really helps my channel to grow, but it also pushes my channel out there, that pushes the messages out, and then other people get them as well. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. Okay, so we definitely have some sort of loss here. So on the bottom of the deck, we have that Five of Cups, right? This is about an emotional loss, grief, sadness. So, this is a very emotional. So the cups are all about emotions, right? So there was some sort of loss, maybe feeling some kind of grief here under the surface. The bottom of the deck card is really like the underlying energy of everything. So I feel like you are really focused on something that you have lost here, or some sort of emotional time that you're going through. The situation is the Five of Pentacles. This is, again, that loss, that grief, feeling left out in the cold, maybe feeling abandoned by someone. Maybe you abandoned someone. We'll definitely get into the message more, but this is like that lack mindset, right? Like really feeling left out by the universe, by a person, really feeling some sort of lacking energy, some sort of loss. Could be financial, could be emotional, could be both, right? Like if it's some kind of business partnership that you've lost. The blockage here is the Two of Cups. So this is like partnership, union. And the twos are all about balance, right? So things could be imbalanced here, but I feel like the blockage is love, union, caring partnership, right? So I feel like somebody has been abandoned by a partner here. This could be in business, it could be in love, right? This could be a family member. But there is some sort of dynamic where it has you feeling like just abandoned. Somebody could have walked away from a partnership here. So the foundation of this, the cause of this, is the King of Swords. The King of Swords is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So this is your energy. But the King of Swords can be very closed off, very cutthroat, very straightforward, right? So the healthy aspect of the King of Swords is a leader, somebody who is very logical, head over heart energy, just takes charge of situations, cuts things out when he needs to. Very logical thinking, analytical type thinker. But the negative part of that is closed off, not communicating, not talking, and really standoffish. So that could have been the case. Again, it is a general reading, so you take it how it resonates. But I feel like this is you walked away from a partnership here. In the recent past, we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is a very slow moving energy. So this is earth energy. Pentacles are that grounded, stable earth energy, but it is very slow. So I feel like things were going really slow in the past. Maybe it felt like things were going too slow for you. Things just were not moving as quickly as you wanted them to. But the Knight of Pentacles is very grounded, very stable, very long term. So there could have been some sort of offer of stability here, right? Whether that's in a relationship or a business. But this is some sort of offer of stability. So whether you offered this to someone or they offered it to you, I feel like an offer was made. Your higher self, your guides are telling you about the Nine of Wands here. The Nine of Wands is lessons. This is like really persevering. You've been through a lot, right? So this is about like looking at all of these lessons. This person is, they call him the wounded warrior because he has this bandage on his head, right? Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. but he's looking back at all of these wands here behind him, right? And this is like all of the lessons, everything that you have been through, and really looking at that and learning from those lessons, integrating those lessons. I feel like this has just been a really difficult time, and you've really been pushing through, persevering. I feel like you're almost at the end of that though, because right after the 9 of Wands is the 10 of Wands, right? So, which is burden, it's burnout. But I feel like you are really coming to the end of some sort of cycle or obstacle standing in your way. In the near future, we have the Hermit. So this is Virgo energy, but this is solitude. This is kind of pulling back, going within. So someone is feeling abandoned here in a relationship, in some sort of dynamic. And this has you kind of pulling back and going into solitude, right? So when you go into hermit mode, you kind of go within to do some soul searching, right? So he has like this lantern, and it's like, when you're going through that dark night of the soul, you really have that lantern to kind of light the way for you so that you can find those answers that you need. But this is really being pulled back and kind of being on your own here. So I feel like in the near future, this is going to have you kind of on your own here, really focusing on finding answers, maybe, looking back at these lessons and kind of trying to find the answers within yourself here. In your thoughts and feelings, we have the Ace of Wands. So you are wanting a new passionate beginning. I feel like maybe you are feeling this new spark, right? So this could be maybe you getting a creative idea, wanting some kind of new journey, feeling very passionate and feeling excited about something, right? So maybe you left someone so that you could focus on yourself and some kind of new adventure here and focus on your passions, what it is that you want. In your environment, the influence, we have the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands is about defending yourself, defending your beliefs, standing up for yourself, having boundaries, and defending your position on something, right? So maybe you offered this stability, right? And you wanted to move slow and this person walked away. Or maybe this offer wasn't enough for them, so you walked away. Whatever that is, it really has you kind of defending your position on this, right? Like you felt like that was the right position to take and the right move, and maybe they saw it differently. So now you're kind of like standing 10 toes down, right? You're standing up for that, and you believe that, and you're having your boundaries, right? So if this is somebody else walking away from you, this is you keeping your boundaries and staying to yourself here. In your hopes and fears, we have the 10 of Swords. So you are fearing that this, is an end. Like this is a very painful ending. This is deceit, lies. It is, again, the abandonment, the loss, the grief. This is a very tough cycle to go through. It's manipulation, lies. But again, the positive is that it's a 10. So you're at the end of this. I just feel like you're fearing the worst here, like, just really getting clobbered here. And which is legitimate. I mean, if somebody walks away, or, this situation it just really has you feeling in lack, and it's really painful. Like, I totally get that. This could have been a business partner that stole money from you. This could have been a love partner that walked out on you, whatever that situation is for you. But the potential outcome is the 3 of Swords. So again, that grief, that loss, this is heartbreak. But it's also about healing from that heartbreak and really understanding the lesson learned and focusing on healing rather than the pain, which I get is easier said than done, especially when you've been through that 10 of Swords energy. I just feel like you are fearing the worst, and you really need to kind of go within and find those answers and look at the lessons that you learned. If this was a relationship that was not built on trust, it was built on lies, no matter what kind of relationship that is, this is about you really going within and kind of having that realization and understanding the situation better, and being hopeful for something new here, right? Whether that's in love or in business. I just feel like this situation was not good for you. And I know that it's hard to let that go, but you really need to go within and look at this and understand, like, is it worth all of this? Is it worth this, right? Like, is it worth going through all of this? Really integrate these lessons and remember all that you have been through. What do they not see coming, Spirit? Yeah, so we have the Two of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the Empress. Lots of swords in this reading. Lots of that air energy all up in your head, right? So Two of Swords is about a decision. This is stalemate energy, not making a decision, right? Like feeling stuck, feeling very closed off. She has her arms across her chest and blindfolded, like refusing to see the situation, refusing to make a decision. And then you have the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords is that anxiety, that worry, that fear. It's, you know, the hamster on a wheel. Like, you just go over situations. What if this? What if that? What did I do wrong? You know, this is just that really seeing things for what they are and trying not to sit in that energy, right? Not replaying things in your head. Grow from this situation, right? The Empress is that divine feminine energy that is sitting in the energy of letting things go and letting things come to you, and knowing that things will be abundant, things will grow, right? This is like spiritual growth, emotional growth, especially if you have been left or there's some sort of loss. This is about you really kind of seeing things for what they are, getting out of your head and growing from this situation. Again, looking at these lessons and growing from this situation, and then moving towards what it is that you do want, this passionate adventure, this new idea, this new, whatever this new beginning is that you are calling in here. Let's see, what is the advice? I feel like you're going to make a decision, right? Because refusing to see things or accept things is just going to keep you stuck in a cycle. Yeah. So your advice is Queen of Swords, Temperance, and the Tower. So you have the King and Queen of Swords here, which is your energy. So this is about balancing your masculine and feminine energy. Again, with the Divine Empress. Sorry, when I channel, my nose itches. This is about you getting clarity, keeping your boundaries, speaking your truth, right? And then you have Temperance, which is, again, alchemizing the energy, balancing, integrating lessons, and really just, you know, having that peace, that calm. Let things play out, right? Try not to rush into decisions or, you know, get stuck in this Nine of Swords energy, this constant replaying situations in your head. And then we have the Tower, which is about embracing the change, which is not always easy, right? Like, it's very difficult when you lose someone that you care about, or you lose a business partner, right? But, you know, that Queen of Swords, those lessons, those boundaries, keep your boundaries, speak your truth, integrate the lessons in, right? And stay grounded, stay balanced. You know, she has one foot in the water and one foot on land. So one foot in her emotions, one foot on land. So she's grounded, right? She's emotionally grounded, she's spiritually grounded, and you're also protected, right? That's an archangel. So I feel like you're very protected right now while you move through this transition. And you're probably just feeling very in lack. You know, I just feel like somebody definitely kind of walked away, or you could have even walked away from this. And it's hard even when you walk away from situations when you know that you need to. It's still difficult, right? I just feel like this is about you needing to accept the lessons and move on from it, right? Like, again, I know that's easier said than done, but when you look at the lessons learned and everything that you've been through and take that into this new beginning here, this new adventure. oracle cards. What do you have for Gemini, Spirit? I love that the King and Queen of Swords both came out in your reading. Because this is your reading. So this is like, you know, balancing that masculine and feminine energy. Walk away. You're wasting your precious energy on something that will not bear fruit. It's time to turn your attention to things more aligned to your soul's purpose. That is such a hard lesson to learn. I've done that so many times and it never gets easier, but it's definitely worth it, right? Release attachments. There's something you need to let go of. It's either a limiting belief, an untruth, or negative behavior. It's holding you back and keeping you from stepping into your true potential and happiness. Yeah, this lack mindset, like you have the 2 5s, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. This is like limiting beliefs, and it can be about imbalance, right? This doesn't even have to be a relationship. It can just be about you feeling in lack and not staying balanced, not balancing your masculine and feminine energy here, right? It very well could be a partnership because, you know, we have all kinds of relationships. This could be family. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a love partner. Depleted. You are overgiving and not taking enough time to rest and rejuvenate. Reevaluate your relationships and commitments, or you may soon risk your health deteriorating in some way. Yeah, that 10 of Swords and 9 of Wands is very defeated energy. Like you're just exhausted. Authenticity. Be your divine self at all times. You weren't designed to fit in. Break away from expectations and fully express yourself in your own unique way, and you'll be a magnet for success. I love that. Yeah, definitely just, you know, focus on the lessons learned, embrace the changes as difficult as they are, and just stay balanced. I feel like that's what's going to help you the most work through this. But I mean, once you make this decision and see things for what they are and you kind of end this negative thought pattern, I feel like there's a more abundant time, right? That's what's going to open you up to this abundance, to this growth, because you've learned these lessons. And that in itself is growth, right? Accepting a spiritual lesson, accepting a lesson for what it is really helps you grow emotionally, spiritually, and even financially, because when you release attachments to certain people, places, and things, that's going to help open up new, right? Because once there's an ending, there's a new beginning here. So I feel like this is just a matter of working through the energy, working through this heartbreak and grief right now. Try not to hold yourself back, as difficult as that is to move through. I just feel like you're going to be in solitude for a bit, but once you make this decision, everything's going to open up. You know, you've got that Empress, that abundance, that growth is really going to take off for you. So I hope that message helped, and I will see you next time.